Hari Om to all. And this week we are starting with Goa, right? I've been seeing all your games about Goa. And what is a little bit of, I'll start with a small history of Goa, okay? Goa, once upon a time, during the Vedic period, Goa was called, in Sanskrit, Goa's name was in Sanskrit. You know, what is the name? It was called Gomantak.
Gomantak.
Yeah, Gomantak was the name of Goa during the Vedic period. And I think you've been mentioning sometime back. There are two famous rivers in Goa. One is Mandavi River, the other one is Zuari River. There are two famous rivers in Goa, and it has been one of the holy place where a community of people called Saraswat Brahmins came and settled over there. You know Brahmins, right? In Brahmin, there is a section, there was a section, and today also there are very few people called Saraswat Brahmin, who were the early settlers in Goa. You know why they were called Saraswat Brahmins? Actually, they were all in Uttarakhand, near river Saraswati, they were living. And since Saraswati river gone into the earth without, running above the earth, so what happened? They were not able to live there. People those days for the civilization, they needed to live somewhere near the river to do some cultivation, to do some, agriculture and all that. So they moved towards this part of India, and slowly they came and settled on the banks of Mandavi River. There were about 96 families who migrated from nearby river Saraswati and moved to Goa. And that is how they were called Saraswat Brahmin. They had their own mata, the ashrams and all that, where they had a guru, and they were living. And that's how Goa slowly started establishing itself, with a lot of population coming in. And you all will be knowing, like, there were about 90% of the population, 100% of the population in Goa were Hindus once upon a time. Later, it was invaded by various people like, Portuguese, Dutch, Islam, and all. Various people invaded. And during the Portugal invasion, when the Portuguese, came and ruled that part of India, they converted about 90% of the people to Christianity those days. Okay, and those people who converted to Christianity also, for living purpose, they moved out to various parts of India and started settling down in other places. That's how you can see a lot of Portugal people here and there. You can see in Kerala, you can see in Pondicherry, you can see in Mumbai, Delhi, and all that. They started going out and started settling. Goa was also a part of Mauryan Empire. You've heard of Mauryan Empire, Chandragupta Maurya? Okay, fine. It was part of the Mauryan Empire, and during Emperor Ashoka's days, he was ruling this part of, that is, Ashoka's empire covered Goa also, including Goa. Ashoka was ruling, and those days during the Mauryan period, it had various names. Like in Vedic period, they called Gomantak. During the King Ashoka's days, it was called Goman, Goa Rashtra, Gopa Rashtra, Goa Puri, and Gopakapatna, and a lot of names. It was also called as Go, G-O-V-E, Go. These are the various names which Goa had during the Mauryan Empire. I'll just repeat. It was Gomantak, Goa Rashtra, Gopa Rashtra, Goa Puri, Gopak Puri, and all that. It kept on changing names, as the rulers changed, at the time changed, and all that. Then later, after Mauryans, there were kings, dynasty called Kadambas. Like how you have Maurya, like there were rulers called Kadambas. The Kadamba dynasty was ruling this part of Goa, that is Goa, somewhere during 1006 AD. They started their rule, and it went on till 1350. That is almost about 14th century. And Kadambas were the what to say? They were the local people born and brought up in Goa, and they started ruling, and they also started having alliances. They also started having what to say, collaboration with the neighborhood kings. For example, the part of Karnataka was ruled by Chalukyas. They had alliances with Chalukya. They marry Chalukya princes, or they marry Chalukya princes. They do business, they do trading with the neighboring people. So they all started collaborating and working with each other. And later, after the Kadamba period, uh, Bahmani rulers started invading. Bahmani sultans, basically Islamic people, they started invading, and they destroyed all the significance of Goa with respect to Hinduism. They destroyed the temple. They killed people. They converted a lot of people. Like that. Goa went through a lot of turmoil, lot of trouble. So Hindu kings were killed, and what to say, Hinduism basically was destroyed in Goa. So later stages, after Mughals, again British came, then Portuguese had a fight with British. So it has seen lot of invasions, such a beautiful location, but still it has got a lot of, what to say, people coming and invading, changing the name, changing the culture, changing the religion. A lot of things happen. And even after the independence of India, after 1947, Goa still was remaining as a Portugal province or a Portugal kingdom. And Jawaharlal Nehru, during when he was a prime minister, he went with the army of about 5,000, 6,000 people, threatened those Portugals, and changed it into a union territory within India. You know what are the union territories in India? Delhi, da, Daman, Dayu.
Yes, sir. I know.
Yeah, yeah. Likewise, Goa also became a
Yes, sir.
union territory of India. That is how it was integrated as a part of India. And we will see few temples of Goa today, right? There is a temple called Saptakoteshwar temple. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Saptakoteshwar temple.
Saptakoteshwar temple, and it is one of the what to say, it's a Shiva temple basically. It's one of the old temples in Goa, and what to say, there are a lot of temple festivals happening over there, and it is believed that Sapta Rishis, who are all the Sapta Rishi, right? Seven sages. Saptarishi, you heard of?
Yes, sir.
Atri, Bhrigu, Kutsa, Vasishta, Gautama, Kashyapa, Angirasa. These Saptarishis prayed to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva appeared in front of them and granted their wishes. So that is the story behind this temple, and this particular incident happened in this place. So Lord Shiva remained there and started blessing the people.
Sir, can you repeat the temple name?
Temple name is Saptakoteshwar temple. Sapta means seven. Why it is called Saptakoteshwar is because Lord Shiva here gave darshan to the seven sages, Saptarishis, in this particular temple. Saptarishis are Atri, Bhrigu, Kutsa, Vasishta, Gautama, Kashyapa, Angirasa. These are the seven sages, very holy sages. And as usual, as I was saying, during the Portugal invasion and Islamic invasion and all that, this particular temple also was destroyed. And what to say, this particular statue was kept in a secret place, saved by a person called Narayan Rao Sardesai. There was a person who was a very ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. He shifted this particular Shivlinga and moved it to a nearby island. Because Goa is on the beach, right? So nearby there was an island. He moved the Shivlinga to an island and kept it in a very safe place to avoid the destruction by the invaders. Then later, the same Shivlinga was also brought to this temple. And also there is a new Shivlinga which is done with Panchadhatu, 5 metals. You know 5 metals? Panchadhatu, Panchaloka they say, statue. 5 metals. It will be made of 5 metals. All the holy statues which are made of metals will be made of 5 metals only. Only then the statue will get that power. Okay, so it is made of 5 metals, and it is one of the very icon of Goa, Saptakoteshwar temple. It is situated in a place called Norway. It's not that Norway, it's Narve, Norway in Goa. I'll close with this. I'll come to you again